The Cougar X3 RGB Speedy. So much potential. Oh well. I'm Rio Gion and welcome to Rio Gion Keyboards. From just looking at the keyboard, you can already tell this is meant for gamers, which is both a good and a bad thing because it's nice if it goes well with your home setup, but you can't bring it to the office without drawing attention to yourself. From a glance, it looks like it has standard layout, but it doesn't. The spacebar is smaller and the buttons on the left corner are really stretched out. This reminds me of the G-Skill KM780. I think the spacebar is the one that is incredibly hard to find in the aftermarket. I actually really dig the font. I think they went with the more professional font, except for certain keys. The brushed aluminum finish makes the keyboard looks very premium, and in 2018 the price for the keyboard is going for, I guess it's somewhat worth it. I think they should be making it more like this despite the premium look. The keyboard doesn't feel premium when touching and typing it. I really like the floating key design, making it easier to clean, and I just really dig the look. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for the latest content. The keyboard uses Cherry MX RGB Speed, which is a great choice because they're targeting gamers. They also come in blue, brown, red, and black. At least that's what I see when looking at the box. So you're covered for the mainstream switches if you don't like the speed. The RGB line that Cherry comes with have a clear switch housing, which is nice because it helps the keyboard really shines. Also, the light is inside the switch instead of on the top, so it has that extra layer of protection. At this price point, I think that it's sort of expected that they use Cherry switches, and I'm not disappointed with these switches. They went with Cherry MX stabilizers, which is an excellent choice because it makes the keyboard just that much easier to clean. We'll have to sacrifice of the crispiness, but I'll make that sacrifice any day of the week. The Co-Star stabilizer is only good if you don't take out the longer keycaps to clean the keyboard or replace the keycaps with. I do not like to deal with the wires, and those little plastic pieces, they're just the stuff of my nightmares, which is why I'm so glad they went with Cherry MX stabilizers. They use the typical thin ABS keycaps that's in most of the mainstream keyboards. I would expect them to use something else besides ABS to compete, but oh well. I mean, I've seen worse ABS caps, but I also seen a lot better, so you can try to find replacement keycaps for, which shouldn't be hard unless you want to replace the spacebar. I believe this is the 5.5U spacebar, and if it's the same one from the G-Skill, then it's going to be such a huge problem trying to find aftermarket parts for this. The wrist rest game here is also pretty weak because of those plastic wrist rests that are flimsy. Also, they have those small little plastic hooks which can break really easily. It's interesting how they have this removable soft plastic piece on the top. I have to say it feels really nice, but why don't they just have this material throughout the wrist rest instead? I think it would be so much better. Also, make the wrist rest magnetic, but then again, this is just one guy's opinion. The flip-up feet does have rubber on them, so the keyboard will be planted on both angles. I was really disappointed when I saw two USB plugs, but they removed the USB pass-through. If they're going to remove the USB pass-through, then just take away the plug instead of fooling us into thinking that it has USB pass-through. This reminds me a lot of Mercedes. I know that other car brands does this too, but some of their cars have blank switches. Just why? I know that there are other versions that do have the USB pass-through, but don't pull something like this. At least the cable is braided and you get gold-plated USB tips, which is nice, but I know there's people out there that don't really care for those and would much rather have the USB pass-through. Oh well. The software is irritating as all hell. It's one of those situations where you gotta click apply to apply the setting, then click OK to save it. The good thing here is that this can easily be fixed with a patch update. So I hope they do this sooner rather than later. Also, the user interface is something that's going to take some getting used to. Because of how they designed the look of the software, it's just the layout of wanting to get to the functions that you need. At first, I thought you get 3 layers of lighting effect, which would be pretty nice, but you actually get 3 cycles of lighting. So what this means is that you set the lighting modes, then you hit function plus F4 to switch them around. It's nice that they included onboard storage. It's very nice, but I would much rather have the layer of lighting effects instead. You can macro every single key, which is a nice feature to have, and it looks like you can download other people's custom lighting profile. But here's the thing, the community is not big enough. So here's a few ways to make this software great. Number 1, add layers of lighting effects. For sure. Number 2, make sure that the user interface is more friendly. And number 3, cut that annoying apply function. Once these are fixed, I think more and more people will flock to the keyboard and we will have more people upload their custom lighting profiles. I want the smaller keyboard manufacturers like these guys to offer something to compete in the big leagues because I want them to do well. If they do well, there's more competition, which means us as a consumer will only benefit. So here's hoping they fix these issues and make that software great. The more I use the speed switches, the more I like them. I like the smooth travel and I like how quickly the response is. I still find myself making most of the mistakes with this switch, but I do enjoy typing on them. The same can be said for the keyboard as well. The keycaps are smooth to the touch and I can fly through the keys with ease. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm coming up with excuses to type on this keyboard, but I do enjoy typing on it when I do get to type on it. Overall, this is a good typing experience, but if you type as well as you game, then this should not be a bad choice. If you mainly play FPS or RTS, then this is the keyboard for you because you get to macro every single key, plus you get the speed switches so you can double tap really quickly. If you mainly play MMO or you edit lots of videos, then I can definitely see you using this keyboard in a pinch, but I don't see this keyboard being your long-term daily driver. If you are a typist, then I would not recommend this keyboard because you will be making mistakes and this is just not the switch for you. Luckily, there's other switches to choose from if you really like this keyboard. My gripe with this keyboard is the price, the features, because it's a cheap feeling keyboard for a really steep price. I was hoping that the lighting features would save the keyboard, but sadly it didn't. But if they really want to hit a home run, all of those fixes should be made. Pricing is always subject to change, but expect to find this keyboard retail for 120 USD. I'll put a link below to the keyboard, or I would have, but my Amazon store shut down due to low clicks and purchases. So if you liked the video and you need help with computer repairs, I'll leave a link to a program for you to check out in the description below. This is an affiliate link, so I would greatly appreciate it if you buy the program through my link. If you made it this far and you still haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, become part of the mighty notification squad. As always, have an awesome day.